and absolute freaking carnage and death. What we're looking at right here is the bug bazooka. We've all heard of the bug blaster or the salt blaster that shoots salt at the bugs and blows their wings off. This right here uses abrasive blasting media. A little bit more military grade than your average little plastic Nerf gun salt blaster. This thing can blow the wings off an eagle, let alone a wasp or a carpenter bee. There's a salt tank and a staple gun as the air charge. Yeah. I would say that's gonna rip some wings right off. So, I'm definitely pretty far away here. I need to straighten my barrel. Wow, dude. Dude, there is nothing surviving this. We did get some penetration, mostly just dents, but typically any place you see these dents, that's a damaged wing right there. I'm using sea salt because I wanted a little bit more action. That also looked pretty brutal. A little windy in here. I'm running 100 PSIs in this thing. And as you can see, close range, it's utterly devastating. Close range, it'll probably hurt a person. It definitely could blind you. Okay, I'm at a pretty good bug blasting distance here. Whoa, dude. Whoa. It's definitely better than cooking salt. Wow. I need to turn off the other lights so you can see the damage. I put a light right behind this so you guys could see the damage, and look at that. Dude, that is better than the rock salt or the cooking salt. Okay, we're at 3 feet. Here we go. And absolute freaking carnage and death. It's far better, you guys. Man, is it better. And I'm not grounding out my electronics by shooting salt in there, and then moisture gets in there, and dude. Yeah. We're at a good bug blasting distance here. I want to say we're about 3.5 to 4 foot. I was kind of off to the side there. I messed up. Let me hit the bottom too. Dude. Freaking carnage, man. That's the second shot right there. I was off to the side a little bit. The gun kind of kicked on me. I'm trying to hold a camera. So we didn't get the full spread. It probably would have covered this whole sheet like this one kind of did. So it's official. The conclusion is the Black Blast is the way to go when it comes to your ammunition. It's far better than the rock salt. This stuff definitely hurts really bad when you're sandblasting, so that's what gave me the idea. It's terrible. You got to be fully clothed. And I'm thinking about building a simpler, better version of this thing, and maybe trying to sell one that hooks up to an air compressor for all you guys out there in the shop. Because I know if you're anything like me, you waste a good amount of time dealing with insect attacks. How many times you've been in there trying to weld and a massive horsefly the size of your thumb comes rolling into the shop, just doing its thing? I'm stopping everything when that happens. So I'm gonna get some more footage on this, and I may build a better one because it performed well enough to justify the time needed to do that. And I don't know, I'm thinking about making one for the shop that hooks up to an air compressor that I can sell for you guys that don't want to jack around with figuring out how to build one. It's pretty simple, but what makes it powerful is the valve mechanism. I could just hook a valve up to this, but it wouldn't have the same explosive power as, I don't know if you guys can hear that pop. It's an explosive release of air. You can almost see the air condensation. I hope the camera's picking that up. It's actually making an air cloud out the front, but shutting up. Any of you guys who've ever built a potato cannon or an air cannon of any kind, you know what I'm talking about. The valve make or breaks the device. The quicker the release on the valve, the more power it has. There's just something about it. Sometimes the initial blast of air, the very small blast, has already launched the projectile out of the mechanism before the huge rush even has time to reach it. That's one of the main problems with slow-acting valves. So yeah, this stuff, there's really nothing to it. There's no large granules in there. As you can see, the size of the granules. But so I did try just a regular valve with a tube, you know, just for the sake of giving it a shot. And it was not effective. It could kind of do the same thing, but it's nothing like the explosive release you get out of an air canister right there at the end of the gun. Just using the hose as your reservoir is nowhere as good as this. These guns use the entire inner back frame as an air canister. This whole handle is an air tank. And this back portion right in here is also an air tank. The front section is not an air tank. It is a pressure reservoir that gives the air from the downward direction of the piston somewhere to go. It blows out of annular radial ring of holes that goes around the bottom of the piston cylinder. So you've got not only an explosive relief valve, but you also have an air tank right here, which is essential to getting the power that we just seen. Just putting some dust in a hose and using one of these valves is not going to give you that effect. We are at about 7 feet away. We're going to give this a shot. Okay, so this here is just your average bug blasting distance. We're about 3 feet. We're going to check the damage, and then we're going to do salt just to kind of show a comparison here. Here we go. Here we go. And absolute freaking carnage and death. Here we go. And you could take out a bird with that kind of ammunition. This thing can blow the wings off an eagle. So, that's pretty devastating. Now we're going to try it with salt. We got to match it up here. Let's see what salt does. Okay, we're at 3 foot with regular salt. Just to see what happens here. And just to see what happens here. And very disappointing. Maybe 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 holes, and the rest is just drastic impact. 5 foot, just regular salt, and as expected, it was not very grand at all. We got 3 holes from 5 foot. I'm not going to bother doing the 8 foot test. So we're blasting holes through this at 8 foot with the abrasive powder. So if you already own a bug blaster, you might consider that in your shop area. I wouldn't go shooting this stuff around the house. It's probably a hazard breathing the dust as well. So far, fellas, that's all I got. I got to roll the Bug Bazooka.